Now I don't need to have that open. So we are going to go through the Shining Force character creation stuff that I have going on, and this is my character creation sheet, which is linked in all of my applications, recruitment things that I posted everywhere on the internet. This link is my hack link, which is right here, and there's multiple tabs as you can see. And Psionics, PRC, and then everything after PRC we can ignore because that's a work in progress thing that I have tacked on here. I plan on reworking the Samurai class and class rework station for me to break that down in, and then I am working on a new magic system, which I have not finished, and unfortunately I lack the time to do either of those right now. So we're gonna go back to races and this sheet here. So from here you can get the actual Fantasy Grounds demo. Here is the intro video for the campaign I'm designing from the original video game intro sequence. This is my Discord server that you can join, and this is what we'll be using for voice for my game. So my spreadsheet rundown is character level 1, which means a cap of 1 hit dice. Instead of class levels, we have hit dice caps, and your hit dice that like right now it's 1. You can choose not to gain extra hit dice, but that caps the ability for you to gain things like base attack bonus and caster level and the abilities you can grab. So that's important that you keep that up to where the rest of the group is. But you can't ever go above the cap I set based on your experience. So even like martial people can't get double the hit dice of caster people because that lets them access higher level abilities than the rest of the group. So I'm avoiding that. XP, this is not going to be a Gestalt game, so I'm allowing for 25 XP. Now this will allow you to grab more things within my hack than a typical level 1 fighter or a level 1 cleric, so you're going to have a little bit more juice, a little bit extra, which will allow for some things like extra feats or extra spells per day with a wizard than standard, or if you want to get a little freaky, creating new races, which I'm going to go over after I run down here. So this is your stat allowance that I rolled for. What I did is I rolled 4d6 and I re-rolled any ones, and these are the rolls I got, which are pretty good, not the best I've ever done, and I do different allocations depending on campaign and difficulty. Sometimes it's 4v4 plus 4, sometimes it's 3d6 only reroll ones. Sometimes I do different things, but this time it was 4d6 reroll ones, and I didn't drop any. So the fact that the cap was 17 and the lowest is 11 is why that is. Now this races, I need to go to this page. This is what I've done for the standard Pathfire races, and I streamline them to 12 RP, the basic standard races, so that instead of some being 13, some being 9, some being 6, I bumped them all to 12, and any that were higher, like ASMR, I put an XP cost to them for having that. And I tried to... I allocated that here. Like you can see the Tengu is 13 RP, and I put 1 XP, the cost of that 1 RP extra. The Sverfnevlin are 24 RP, so it would cost, you wouldn't be able to grab that as a level 1 in this game because it costs 27 XP over the base. So you could be a rat folk, and because the rat folk were lower than 12 RP, I gave them this here. I gave them Terrain Stride Underground, move through natural difficult terrain at normal speed underground. Silent Hunter, members of this race reduce the penalty for using stealth while moving by 5 and can make stealth checks while running at -20. And then Underground Hunter, a +2 racial bonus on craft, alchemy, perception, stealth checks. And that stealth bonus increases to +4 underground. And then a primary bite attack, which, because they're small, it doesn't do a whole lot, but it's 1d2 plus strength that they can use as a secondary attack while wielding a crossbow or something. It just gives them a little more oomph that fits in the theme of a tiny rat guy. I did the same for any race that is under 12 RP. Orcs got extra natural armor to go along with their standard ferocity and their increased strength and their dark vision. The Oread, I gave them earth powers and natural armor, so they get some constant non-detection, a +1 to cast level with any earth spell, magic stone, stone shape, and stone tell once per day, and then they get some extra natural armor as well. And this is actually incorrect. This is actually incorrect. Oh, no. 2 + 1 + 2. Yeah, I did this. It's actually 5 RP to do this. So that's an error on my end I'm finding now. Feels bad. Even I make mistakes, guys. So I need to correct. Oread is going to be 13 RP and cost 1 XP. Okay. So I'm just gonna, instead of trying to rebalance that right now, I'm just gonna cost correct these as I look them over. Apologies for that delay. So what we have here is your basics. They all have new stuff. Craftsman, add spinner, add envoy. So things like this. The gnome I changed to have enclave protector, and they get a bonus to abjuration spells. Fairy fire, obscure object, sanctuary, non-detection, in addition to gnome magic, which gives them some like animal powers. My half elf, I gave them integrated +1 belt, bluff, disguise, knowledge, local, and then gregarious. It allows them to fit more into the charismatic of two worlds, easy to negotiate between multiple people face type that have hells, because of skill focus, allows them to like really take over with like diplomacy or integrating with a new society. My half orc, I gave them add strength, so they get 1 score of choice and then +2 strength ratio, so that they could feasibly replicate the orc, their orc cousins without the mental penalties, which is neat for someone wanting to play an orcish character that isn't dumb and uncouth. The half orc now has the ability to have the same amount of strength with the orc theme, the orc double axe, etc., without the intelligence, wisdom, and charisma penalties. I gave the halflings something really simple. Instead of lesser lucky, I gave them greater lucky to balance them out, and they get a +2 racial bonus in all saving throws, just because they're like the tiny little scrapper survivors in my world. And then I took human and rebalanced it for the 2 RP to bring it from 10 to 12. I made them flexible, so it's +2 to any 2 ability scores instead of 1 score is +2 of choice. So they can float 2 ability scores as +2 instead of just 1. And then I went down and did the same for any other race that was under, like catfolk. Dampier, I gave them a bite because that's thematic. Cat Foca gave Bite and Claws, etc., etc. So before I spend all of the time working on this, I just want to cover how to build a new race is step 2 here. Now that well, I guess that's step 3. Character creation, then my races here. So we're going to go to creating new races, and you can see here it's on Pathfinder SRD under game mastering, other rule sets, creating new races. And here you have the rules up here, and some of these I follow to the T, and some of these I do not. I do not follow the traits per category limit here. However, I do follow you need to spend this amount of points to reach advanced and this amount of RP to reach monstrous. And there are certain things that you need to be advanced and certain things you need to be monstrous in order to qualify. So what I'm going to build here is a simulation of one of my favorite characters from Shining Force. His name was Domingo, and he was a tiny flying blue squid-like critter that had a white hat on. And he was a magic user. So, because he was born native in an egg, he's not a monstrous humanoid, and he's not a humanoid. I think his best fit would be Fae, which costs 2 RP, and they have supernatural abilities, which is check, and connections to nature or some other force or plane. I think that's really well fitting. So they get low light vision, and they breathe, eat, and sleep just like a normal critter. So now that we're here, this is my character sheet that I want you guys to go to File and make a copy. And I've already done that, and I've renamed it Example Character. So from my character creation link, you would go here and click this, and it would bring you to here. And then you would click this and make a copy from File. And it would bring you here to copy of Shining Force character sheet, copy this, and then you just rename it into whatever your character is. If you want to use these, you can also use like a Mythweaver sheet or something else. But that won't have the auto-calc cost thing here that I have set up. So at this point, I'm going to be making my own race, and I'm going to move this down here simply because I'm going to fill this with racial abilities. So it's going to be type, Fae, and RP cost. We need to do RP. RP total equals sum. It'll be C18 through C29. And whatever I put in here will dump the total in here. So if I start by going here, it'll auto-calc to there. Okay. So back to this. Fae is going to give us a supernatural creature. And I'm going to have him be small for no extra cost. And all of his stats will be adjusted by this. So I can type in here, small, size small, 0. And then we go down here. He's going to have a normal speed, modified because he is small to slow, which is -1 RP. So I'm going to type -1 in here. That'll give him a 1 back, which will make other things cheaper. For attributes, I need to consider now both how much of a weight I want to have towards actual attributes and how much I want to shoehorn his quote-unquote race, which is unique magic creature, essentially. There's one of him, not an entire species. So I can get a little nutty here. But I only have 12 RP to spend before it starts costing me XP. And I only have 25 XP to spend. So from here, flexible is the easiest way for me to get something simple without any negatives, and it costs 2 RP. Standard gives me +2 to one ability score and +1 to one mental score and -2 to another ability score. And that's your standard no cost option. And this is actually really nice. So I think I'll roll with that for simplicity's sake because I have to keep things cheap. So we are going to do attributes, standard, 0, and then I'm going to do dex +2, charisma +2, and then I believe I want to do strength -2. And if I'm going to be keeping track with this, size doesn't actually give me a -2 to strength, it looks like. It just gives me all of this, which I'm going to dump real quick over here. There we go. Alright. So I'm still at 1 RP with what I've picked so far. That's important. Language is going to be standard. I'm not going to put that down. And then I can pick one of these. I might come back to this because he should have a bonus to Constitution as well. But there's other things I want. So from here, we are going to do, I believe, defensive training greater 4 RP. And that will be 4 RP, and that's dodge AC +2. Okay. So that's just like the dodge feat, and it will stack with the dodge feat. From here, I want to give them natural armor, so I need to pay for that here. Natural armor starts at 2 RP, and then I'm going to select improved and give them skin like leather armor, which is going to be a cost of 5 RP, as I went over earlier on the errors I made on my spreadsheet, and that will be nat armor +3. So he's already got a base of +5 to AC, +6 from size bonus, and then dex makes it a +7 to RP before I allocate attributes or feats or gear. So they'll be hard to hit. And I'm now up to 10, so I gotta be careful how I spend from here. So I'm just scrolling down, and this is where you go for the improved natural armor. So the initial buy is 2 RP for +1. The second one is 1 RP for +1 on top, and then multiple times each time you take this trade increases by 1. So that makes this next buy 2 for the third. That's how that works. I don't think I'm going to give him damage reduction or fast healing. That's too expensive. What I am going to do is I'm going to scroll all the way down here to advanced, which I need to hit 10 RP to, or 11 RP to start picking advanced, right? I'm at 10. So I'm going to be grabbing flight But I'm going to need to pick up, did I already skip? I did not. I'm going to need to grab a spell-like ability or something. Let's see. Pyromaniac. Oh, Fell Magic, no. Envoy, no. Let's just go with Arcane Focus. That's simple and thematic. With the critter I'm replicating, Arcane Focus will fit nicely. 1 RP. Concentration checks are +2. Arcane spells to cast. Okay. So now I have hit the benchmark. Oh, I need to remove the RP. Huh. Okay, so I'm now at 11, which allows me to hit the advanced creature status. And we are going to type in flight 4. He is going to have a limited flight capability, hovering capacity, which I believe comes in here. It's going to be clumsy, but he's not meant to be fast, and he's not meant to be an actual flyer. It's more of a hovering thing. So we'll keep it clumsy. And that leaves me at 15 RP. And 15 RP, if I go here, I can go to here. That is 5 XP out of my 25 that I need to worry about. Because at level 1, we are at 25. So we are right here on the RP scale. And I need to keep that in mind. I don't believe I am going to be picking up much in the way of this. Won't have claws. He will have a normal, just like Mario, jump on someone and bop them base attack. So I'm not going to give him a natural attack. It's just going to be like a body check, like in hockey or something. He won't have reach. He's not going to have powerful charge, and he's going to have basic low light vision that comes with the race. So like low light vision is 1 RP, and I paid 2 for Fey type, which includes low light vision. So technically the Fey type only cost me 1 RP to not be affected by hold person or something like that. And I don't think I want anything like this here. Not a quadruped, doesn't have extra appendages. So I think we're done with race. Unless I want to get a spell-like ability, which I do not believe I do. So we are done with this page, and the XP cost of racial abilities is 5. Because I paid for 3 RP over the base of 12. So that's 5 here. So I've created my blue flying magic creature with good AC, and now I can take this and move this up here and delete this. We now go into class abilities, and then before that I want to go to, this is how you would build your normal character from this point on. You pick your race, and you start by choosing hit dice. So 6 size dice is free, a D8 is 1, a D10 is 2, a D12 is 3, And if you really are hungry for XP, you can pick a D4, and it'll give you 1 XP back per hit dice. This guy is meant to be sort of tanky and hard to kill. So instead of the standard wizard free, I'm going to go with a D8 that is slightly larger. So we are going to type in 1 and get 1d8. I'm not going to pay for an inherent attribute yet because it just won't fit in the build with me already paying for 5, and normally you get that around level 4. That would be your standard in Pathfinder. You would normally get a +1 to any attribute at every 4 hit dice. In my system, you pay for that whenever you want. And that is listed here. It'll cost 4 the first time you do it, and a total of 50 XP overall for a +5. And you can only buy +5, a total of 5 across all of your attributes across 20 levels. So that's a serious investment if you want to do it early on. Like a level 3 character only has 50 XP, so that would leave you with 5 XP for 5 hit dice if you want to do it by level, it just, there's an absurd amount of investment doing it early. We're not going to do that here. What I do need to do is saves, and I need to decide, saving throw, what he's going to be good at. And the minimum hit dice is listed here, so I can take either 0 for nothing, 1 for 1 XP, or a base of 2 for 3 XP for each saving throw. And I need to decide that. So I think I'm going to do monk saves and give him 2, 2, 2, and that'll have a cost of 9 overall. So we're going to do 2. Oh wait, no, that's 3, 3, 3, and 2, 2, 2. And you'll see on my core page, I typed in hit dice 1d8, and I typed in saves 2, 2, 2. We're good to go there. So as you go down and you type these things in, it will carry over what's in these boxes. So I do not need BAB right now. His focus is not going to be auto-attacking, and this is going to be 0, which will carry over here. Auto-fills this category, and it includes CMB, CMD, a melee attack, and a range attack. From here, I've already done hit dice, saves, base attack, skills. He's only level 1, and he is a magic creature, not a sage or a rogue that's had intense training. So we're just going to pay 1 XP to get 6 skill ranks. So we go back over here and we do 1, 6. Feats. He is going to be a spellcaster, so we cannot use this category. We have to use this side. And I believe I'm going to pay 1 XP for 1 extra feat. So I'm going to pay 1 for 2 feats overall. Proficiencies, he's a mage, so we're not going to give him any. That's going to be 0. Normally, like for a fighter, you would pay 5 for simple martial weapons, and then shields, light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor, and that would give you all proficiencies just like a fighter for 5 experience. If you wanted to pick up like the ability to use an exotic weapon, that's 1 XP for each exotic weapon. Or let's say a dwarf that is using the special dwarf armors that I opened, Races of Stone from 3.5, you can pick up special exotic armors for 1 XP as well. Traits, you automatically get 2 for 0 XP. We're going to roll with that because I've already spent 5 XP. And this shows I've spent 17 of my total 25. Let's do that. So XP to spend is now 8. So He's going to be a spellcaster, caster level, sorcerer. It's going to cost 2, and it's going to be 1 caster level. And how you find that is spellcasting. Your caster level is right here, and this is the overall cost. Okay. So next level will cost another 2 to hit 4 overall. He's going to be a sorcerer, so I'm going to need some spells to cast, right? So it's 1 XP for 6 cantrips known, and 1 XP for 4 first level spells known. It would go the same for an oracle or a bard, or a scion if we were going to use psionics. The same thing would apply. I have a complete transfer, full psionics and magic, so detect magic will pick up psionics, and dispel magic will dispel a psionic power, and the reverse is true as well. So I'm going to type in 2 XP here. Spells known. 2 XP. Okay. So now I have 21 spent. I've only got 4 left. Okay. So I'm going to grab 7 spell points, which cost 3 XP for the bundle. I am doing them in bundles with a scaling amount of SP as the cost goes up, because as you level up, each spell costs more SP based on spell level. So at first level, having 7 SP, you can cast 7 first levels in the day, which is a lot for a first level character, more than the standard Pathfinder game. But by the time you're level, say, 13, you are going to be able to cast level 7 spells, and each spell will cost 7 spell points. You're going to need a large pool of SP, and you're likely going to want to be down like to here, in the over 100 range. So I'm paying 3 XP right now to get a jump and have a little oomph, because he's not going to have a crossbow to fire in between spells. That's going to be important for him to have a lot of spell power. SP 3, 7. So I now have 1 experience point to pick a special ability of some kind that I want to use here. And he is going to... I don't know what he wants to do. A lot of these have prerequisites and don't fit for a sorcerer, and I don't want a bloodline with this guy, so we're gonna ignore that. I'm thinking if I were to go monk training, next level I could get monk unarmed damage, and he can smack someone for more damage than normal by paying for his size later on, and it would give him a little bit of a extra oomph to his headbutt / Mario jump stomp attack. So we're gonna go with monk training, and that actually gives him several feats. I am going to get improved unarmed strike, stunning fist, +1, and I'm gonna say dodge. So from here we go to skills and feats. One is dodge, and I rolled dodge and mobility into each other. So this is going to be dodge AC +1 +5 as mobility. Okay. So in my games, dodge and mobility are rolled into the same feat, and this is the effect. You get a static +1 to dodge AC. You get a +4 as through mobility, which together it ends up a +5 overall when you try to like squeeze between two enemies to flank with a partner. And here I still have 2 extra feats. Actually, that was a free feat, right? So I'm going to just copy this and move it down here. Is that right? That's not going to end up right now. Feels bad. Well, I'll worry about that bridge when it crosses, when I have to deal with it. So, improved unarmed strike, stunning fist, and then I'm gonna need feats. So we're gonna do spell focus, evocation, DC +1 evocation spells, and what else would be a good idea here? Just reading my Discord, sorry folks. So, let's go to feats. Generic feats. This guy is built to actually fly to the front, and combat casting will stack with arcane discipline, which I picked up, or arcane focus. And there's actually a trait, I believe, which would give me a total of like +8. And I might actually want, I might actually go into PRC, Abjurant Champion, and want combat casting later. So we're gonna pick up combat casting. Right. Combat casting. Yep. Okay, so let's go to traits. And in my games for traits, the normal way of handling traits is you pick one from each category before you cannot take more from said category. So even if you had like 7 traits, you can only do 1 campaign, 1 combat, 1 equipment. I don't follow that. So we're going to go straight to magic traits. This guy's a magic user. And we're going to grab Desperate Focus to run with that theme. I gain a +2 bonus on concentration checks. So I can hyperlink trait here. Insert, and I need to insert link. Desperate focus. Okay, and that's neat because this is actually just +2 concentration. It's not only when fighting defensively. So concentration checks is a +8 overall right now when fighting defensively. That's going to be really hard to knock him out of his spell casting. So that's really nice. And then from here, ding, 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 ding. Magical lineage, maybe? I'll think about that one. That's normally my go-to, but let's try something else. Storm touched, water touched. Desperate resolve. Nope. We already have desperate focus. Distance aptitude. Range could be interesting. Let's go with that, because I've never tried it before, and that looks interesting. Distance aptitude. Insert link. Okay, so distance aptitude is right here. Okay. So those are two things that just enhance his ability to do his job as a spellcaster. Racial traits is where I would copy and dump what's here. But I don't feel that's... Well, we can do that. Flight is going to be 30. Clumsy. I forgot to do this. Okay. So normally I would just copy this over here just to keep it organized. Low light vision. Where is size is small. Good to go. Okay, so small is going to mean a -1, -1, a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 1, 1, 1. Dodge is going to be a 3 overall due to the dodge feat and the greater defensive training. And then natural is going to be 3. Doesn't apply here, and 3. So without any spells or anything, he's got an AC of 17 with 14 to touch. And then now we go to attributes. Cool. Character creation with 17, 17, 6, 3, 12, 11. And I have a +2 to Dex and Charisma with a -2 to Strength. So I let my players automatically take Weapon Finesse and pick one ability they want to use Dex to damage to. So we're going to take Weapon Finesse. Free. Dex to damage. Okay, so now I'm going to put a 19 into Dex with the racial differential, and a 19 into charisma, the 11 into strength, which makes it a 9. Actually, I'm going to put the 12 in there, and that'll make it a 10. Because I do apply a strength penalty to the damage done, even if you are a finesse base. And that is right here on my character creation sheet. Right here. So I added that. And the others are going to be a 16, a 13, and an 11 with one extra 17, huh? So I'm going to put the 17 here. And I'm going to put the 16 here, the 11 here. So he'll have a boost to reflex 4 and will saves, which gives him really good saves for level 1 character. The dex boost gives him a +4 to AC, so his touch bumped to 18 and 21. Alright, so just responding to Discord. And this enhances the dex, his range attacks. You can see that applies. So for damage, he is small. His unarmed strike should be, if we go to Monk, Unchained Monk. That's base 6. That rolls down to 1d4, right? So melee needs to be swapped to equals C9. Equals C9. Equals C9, like so. To process it appropriately. Unarmed strike is going to be 1d4 plus 4 x2. Okay. And then I need to attack hit points, right? Speed is 30. Initiative is going to be 4. Where am I going? Skills will only be 6 because he has no intelligence bonus. And he paid for 6. So 6 skills. I'm going to put 1 here, which gives me 3 in trained. And then I am going to put 1 here, 3 in trained. 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 And that shows me 5. I am going to knowledge planes 3. So I now have spent my 6 skill ranks. I have spent my feats. I have not picked equipment, and I'm going to need to pick spells. So normally these are going to be known because it's not a wizard, it's a sorcerer. And caster level is 1. I can pick, let's say, detect magic, read magic, mending, message, acid splash, and ray of cold for a little pew pew. Okay, that's 6. From here we will go mage armor, magic missile, and blaze is one of the spells I am converting from Shining Force to Pathfinder for this game. And then what is a good last spell for a battle sorcerer? I could pick shield, but a +4 to armor will give him a 25 armor at level 1 AC, which is really awesome. So I might be able to hold off on that. Let's pick another combat spell and go straight to sorcerer wizard spells. Okay. So, Snowball is a neat one, and it fits, a ranged option, but I do have spell focus evocation. I think I'm going to do Burning Hands. Let's do Burning Hands for a little AoE action. And at this point, I need to pick equipment. And I think I'm done if I pick equipment, and then I need an image. So an image, I would place over here. If this wasn't being a derp. Oh, I'm in the wrong tab, aren't I? Yep. I'm on the wrong tab. That's cool. An image. So, ideally, you want to hyperlink it. And let's go to Domingo Shining Force. Images. So this is the guy I was building. And we're going to take the link and drop it here. That way I can download it if I need to later and refer to it. And then we are going to insert image here by URL. Cool. I will use this image from this link down here to make a token based on this that I can use in Fantasy Grounds that you're going to grab during session and move around, and that'll be how we represent you. So outside of gear, and then filling this in here, and each character will get 2 character hero points. Campaign, Shining Force, age is going to be 1 because he's a magic creature, and weight is going to be, let's say, 7 pounds. Gender is question mark. Eyes are, let's refer to the picture, they are blue because the same color as this, and it should be blue. I'm gonna roll with blue. Skin is blue fur. Height is let's say 27 inches. Level 1, 25, 0. Class magic creature. Magic creature. Actually, let's just battle sword. Or monk sorcerer. And then Domingo. So let's look this over. Have I missed anything? No. Fantasy Grounds will auto-calculate this for you, as long as you type in 10 small. It doesn't have any extra DR or resistances. That would be too expensive for level 1. I can do assume mage armor. 25, 18, 21. Not bad for level 1 as a mage. And then I can later pick up things like monkish damage unarmed. Oh, I don't have monkish damage unarmed yet, do I? So that's my bad. It would actually be 1d2 plus 4. But next level I can grab and double the dice damage, and then I can grab things like monk training AC. So for 3 XP I can get wisdom to AC and bump his AC further, and then double the dice size of his damage, and then I can pick up more spells, spell-like abilities, etc., etc. So did I cover gear? 100 gold pieces plus a dungeoneering kit. Okay. And I kept the dungeoneering kit from my other game. But let's roll with that. Things to point out. I have banned the following things, and I am allowing these sources from 3.5 and Dreamscar Press, and then the Paizo official stuff outside of what's listed here. And then animal companions I have adjusted to fit here, and familiar, etc. So I don't know if there's any questions, but this is what we're going to run with, and that will be the end of my video for tonight. I've gone on for almost an hour, so thank you for watching.